Joel Osteen was born into a family deeply rooted in Christian ministry in Houston, Texas, in 1963. His upbringing was shaped by routine church life, prayer, and strong family discipline. Unlike the public image he would later develop, his early personality was often described as reserved and observant. He was not drawn to attention or leadership roles during his childhood, preferring to remain in supportive and quiet spaces. Growing up in a large family with several siblings, he learned early the importance of listening and understanding rather than speaking first. His father, John Osteen, was already building what would become a significant church presence, and this environment naturally exposed Joel to religious teachings and community service. However, there was no clear expectation that he would one day become a preacher himself. Instead, his early life reflected a simple rhythm of school, family, and church involvement. These formative years created a foundation of discipline and familiarity with ministry, even if his future path was not yet visible or defined as he grew older. Family foundation and church roots. John Osteen's ministry played a central role in shaping both the physical and spiritual environment in which Joel Osteen was raised. Lakewood Church began as a small gathering and gradually expanded, influencing the family's daily life and expectations. The church environment was not only religious but also organizational, involving media work, planning, and community outreach. Joel observed these operations from a young age, gaining indirect exposure to both preaching and production activities. This combination of faith and structure gave him a broad understanding of how ministries function behind the scenes. Although he did not initially pursue preaching, he became familiar with technical aspects of communication and message delivery. This experience would later prove essential when the church began expanding its media presence nationally and internationally. Within this environment, Joel developed patience and a behind-the-scenes work ethic that shaped his early career outlook. His father's leadership style emphasized commitment, consistency, and long-term vision, which influenced the family deeply. These foundational experiences would later become part of Joel Osteen's approach to leadership and communication over many years gradually. Behind-the-scenes media work. Before stepping into public preaching, Joel Osteen spent significant time working in Lakewood Church's media and production department. His responsibilities included recording sermons, managing audio and video equipment, and ensuring broadcasts reached a wider audience. This role allowed him to observe preaching from a technical and analytical perspective rather than a front-stage position. He became deeply involved in understanding how message delivery, tone, and pacing affected audience engagement. Over time, he developed a strong appreciation for communication techniques used in ministry broadcasts. Working behind the scenes also helped him refine his editing and storytelling instincts. He studied how small adjustments in presentation could significantly influence viewer perception and emotional response. This quiet training period became a foundation for his later confidence in public speaking. Although he initially avoided the pulpit, his exposure to ministry communication grew steadily. These behind-the-scenes years shaped his understanding of how modern churches use media to connect with congregations. By the time he was eventually asked to preach, he had already accumulated years of practical experience in communication and production work. These skills later became essential when he transitioned from supporting sermons to delivering them directly to a growing congregation audience. Transition. After John Osteen's illness. The turning point in Joel Osteen's life came when his father, John Osteen, became seriously ill in 1999. This sudden change created uncertainty within Lakewood Church and left many wondering about its future leadership. Joel, who had spent years working behind the scenes, was unexpectedly asked to step into the pulpit. This request placed him in a position he had long avoided, forcing him into public speaking for the first time. His initial sermon was delivered with hesitation, reflecting both grief and lack of preparation. Despite this, the message resonated with many members of the congregation in an unexpected way. Shortly after this moment, John Osteen passed away, marking a significant transition for the church. The leadership vacuum placed immense responsibility on Joel during a period of emotional difficulty. He was now expected to guide a large congregation while still processing personal loss. During this period, Joel faced the challenge of balancing grief, responsibility, and the expectations of a growing church that relied heavily on continuity at once. He later described this time as one of the most difficult defining moments of his life, where personal struggle intersected with unexpected leadership, responsibility, and spiritual growth. First sermon, an unexpected shift. Joel Osteen's first sermon marked a significant shift in his personal and professional life. Stepping into the pulpit for the first time, he faced a congregation that was familiar with his family legacy. His initial message was simple and focused on encouragement rather than doctrinal complexity. Although nervous, he delivered the sermon in a calm and sincere tone that connected with listeners. The response from the congregation was unexpectedly positive, giving him confidence to continue. This moment became a turning point, gradually shifting his role from behind-the-scenes support to public speaking. He began to reconsider his position within Lakewood Church after realizing the impact of his words. What once felt like an unwanted responsibility slowly started to feel more natural. This change was not immediate, but developed gradually through repeated speaking opportunities. Over time, Joel discovered that his communication style was distinct from his father's, relying more on encouragement, clarity, and relatability than forceful or traditional preaching methods, over time evolving naturally. This emerging voice eventually became central to Lakewood Church's identity, influencing its growth, outreach, and global recognition as more people connected with his accessible and hopeful messaging across different regions and audiences worldwide. Rise of a new preaching style. As Joel Osteen continued preaching, his unique communication style began to distinguish him from many traditional religious leaders. He focused on positive messaging, emphasizing hope, personal growth, and emotional encouragement. This approach resonated with a wide audience, including individuals who did not regularly attend church services. His sermons were designed to be simple, accessible, and easy to understand for people from diverse backgrounds. This simplicity allowed his messages to spread more easily through television and online platforms. Over time, his voice became associated with encouragement rather than traditional doctrinal teaching. Critics often noted that his style differed significantly from more conventional preaching methods. Supporters, however, appreciated the accessible and uplifting tone he brought to large audiences. This balance between accessibility and inspiration contributed to his growing influence. His preaching style evolved through years of practice, media exposure, and audience feedback, gradually shaping a voice that prioritized emotional connection, clarity, and a sense of optimism in everyday life circumstances, over time refined. Over the years, this approach helped Lakewood Church expand its reach globally, attracting audiences who were drawn to its message of hope, simplicity, and personal empowerment across different cultures and regions over continued growth. Expansion of Lakewood Church influence. Lakewood Church experienced significant growth as Joel Osteen's influence expanded across television, print, and digital platforms. The church transitioned from a local congregation into a widely recognized global ministry. Large-scale services began attracting thousands of attendees both in person and through broadcast audiences. This expansion was supported by advancements in media technology and strategic communication efforts. Joel's leadership style emphasized adaptability, allowing the church to evolve with changing times. The organization increasingly relied on television broadcasts and later online streaming platforms. This media-driven approach significantly broadened the church's reach beyond Houston. As the congregation expanded, so did the complexity of managing a global ministry. New organizational systems were implemented to handle increased communication and operational demands. Despite rapid expansion, Lakewood Church maintained a focus on consistent messaging and structured leadership, ensuring that its core values remained intact while adapting to new audiences, technologies, and the expectations of a global congregation over sustained development period continuously. This balance between growth and stability allowed the ministry to expand without losing its identity, creating a model that blended media innovation, community engagement, and a consistent message that resonated with diverse audiences worldwide across multiple regions and platforms globally. Media, broadcasting, and global reach. The rise of media broadcasting played a crucial role in transforming Joel Osteen's messages into a global phenomenon. Television became the primary platform through which his sermons reached audiences far beyond Houston. Later, digital platforms and online streaming further expanded the accessibility of his teachings. This transition allowed his ministry to engage with younger and more diverse audiences globally. His calm and approachable communication style translated effectively across various media formats. This adaptability helped maintain consistency in message delivery across different platforms. As his audience expanded, so did the technological infrastructure supporting his broadcasts. Media teams worked continuously to ensure high-quality production and global accessibility. The integration of traditional preaching with modern broadcasting tools allowed Joel Osteen's ministry to evolve into a hybrid communication model, combining in-person services, televised sermons, and online streaming to reach audiences who might otherwise never engage with church environments over continued technological advancement over time. This technological expansion not only increased viewership but also reshaped how religious messages were produced, distributed, and experienced, establishing a lasting model for modern ministries operating in a digitally connected world while continuing to influence global audiences across cultures, languages, and generational boundaries over decades. Neutrality and public positioning. One of the most discussed aspects of Joel Osteen's public role is his consistent decision to remain politically neutral. He has repeatedly stated that his focus is on spiritual encouragement rather than political commentary. This approach is intended to keep his message accessible to people of different beliefs and backgrounds. By avoiding political endorsements, he maintains a broad audience that spans diverse ideological perspectives. This strategy has helped Lakewood Church avoid alienating members with differing views. It has also allowed the ministry to focus on unified messaging centered on hope and personal growth. However, this stance has also drawn criticism from those who believe public figures should address social issues. Supporters argue that neutrality allows his message to remain widely inclusive and non-divisive. His approach reflects a broader philosophy of focusing on unity and encouragement rather than division, aiming to ensure that individuals from varied political and cultural backgrounds feel equally welcomed in his ministry over long-term consistently. While this neutrality has strengthened his broad appeal, it continues to generate discussion among critics and supporters alike, reflecting ongoing debates about the role of religious leadership in public and political discourse over continuing public discourse. Scrutiny, criticism, and public debate. As Joel Osteen's influence expanded, so did public scrutiny of his teachings and leadership style. Critics have raised questions about aspects of his theology, particularly his emphasis on prosperity and positivity. Some argue that his messages focus too heavily on success and personal achievement. Others suggest that this approach overlooks traditional interpretations of suffering and sacrifice in religious teachings. Supporters, however, believe his teachings provide hope and encouragement during difficult times. The debate surrounding his ministry often centers on differences in theological interpretation. Media coverage has amplified both praise and criticism, contributing to his complex public image. Despite differing opinions, his sermons continue to attract large global audiences. These discussions reflect broader conversations about modern religious communication, where traditional doctrine, media influence, and audience expectations intersect, shaping how spiritual messages are interpreted, shared, and evaluated across diverse communities and cultural contexts within rapidly evolving digital information environments today and global reach. The ongoing dialogue between supporters and critics continues to shape public perception of his work, highlighting the complexity of religious influence in contemporary society and the varying expectations placed on high-profile spiritual leaders across media, cultural, and institutional landscapes worldwide over time evolving narrative. Reflection on study files and conclusion. The idea of a hidden or secret study inside Joel Osteen's private workspace has circulated in online discussions and sensational media narratives. However, closer examination of available public information does not support claims of anything unusual or alarming being found. Instead, his professional history reflects a long-term development of communication skills, media production expertise, and leadership experience. These elements suggest a gradual progression shaped by family influence, organizational responsibility, and personal adaptation to growing responsibilities. Public perception of his study or private work environment has often been influenced by speculation rather than verified facts. In reality, his early behind-the-scenes work primarily involved media coordination and sermon preparation tasks. Rather than uncovering hidden or alarming materials, available accounts emphasize a gradual and structured career path built on discipline, media expertise, and ministry development over many years of consistent work and responsibility within evolving public narratives and media interpretations over extended period globally. Ultimately, the narrative surrounding Joel Osteen's private study reflects more about public curiosity and media framing than any substantiated discovery, highlighting how stories can evolve in digital spaces where speculation often replaces verified information, shaped by online discourse and audience interpretation patterns over time.